Alright, so today I got a video where I'm gonna be grinding some stumps with a big ass Bobcat. This one's a Bobcat t770, which is way too big for my truck and trailer. But I was able to haul it about 90 miles down the road. Anyway, I don't recommend it. This thing's pretty heavy. But this is going to be the first stump I grind the first stumps. There's two of them that I'm going to grind in this video, but this one's going to be the first job that I've had a Bobcat stump grinder on. So I've ran skid loaders before, I've ran Bobcats before, I've ran stump grinders before, but I've never ran a skid loader stump grinder. Like I've ran standalone stump grinders, so this was a weird experience. I definitely like this system. If I could afford it, I would go out and buy one of these. I can't afford it at the moment, so this one's just a rental. But yeah, this first few minutes is just me getting set up. I just wanted to throw it in there because of how I think it's kind of interesting how I had to do this. I had the stump grinder all the way in the front of the trailer. I wasn't driving this machine up that trailer unnecessarily. Like I said, this thing is way too heavy, so I was able to pull it off the machine and just hook up to it. No matter how many times I hooked up to this stump grinder, it never got any easier. I always struggled a little bit. I think it's kind of weighted, a little bit funky, so it's pretty hard to attach this thing. But yeah, anyway, so when we get into the video here, the first stump that I do is a smaller one. I'm going to leave that in real time. You're going to see it from a different angle from the cab, and keep in mind that was the very first stump I ever ground with this setup. So there's definitely some things I would have done differently had I had some more experience with this thing. I positioned the machine a little bit weird. If I would have positioned it correctly, I would have been able to blow this stump out in one spot. And then it looked like I wasn't tilting down enough on the tilt cylinders, so you'll notice that one of the legs on this machine is a little bit off the ground, but I was able to still get the stump out and didn't really have any problems with it. So yeah, just keep watching. I won't be talking on the first stump, and yeah. machine. After I get done grinding the stump, I throw all the grindings in the bucket. You can see I went down deep with this stump. I got it all out. There might be some roots still in the yard somewhere, but all the stump is out. And then, yeah, I shovel everything into the bucket and then dump the bucket into the trailer here. That machine was big enough I was able to dump in the center of my trailer. Some of the smaller machines are kind of dumping on the edge. And then this is a close-up of the stump grinder there. The teeth that are on it. Just kind of an overview of what it is real quick. And then this is the machine. It's a Bobcat t770, like I said. I think it's got what they call the vertical lift arms. It's way heavier than what I need, or what I'm able to haul. And then this is the big cottonwood stump that I brought this machine out for. This thing was probably about 6 or 7 foot wide at the base. And, you know, like where the actual roots enter the ground. But then I grind a little bit further yet just to get everything out. That way they don't have weird settling problems down the road. Yeah, you can see this machine, even though it's a time lapse, you know, this, I believe I had this thing set up to where every 2 hours of real time is 8 minutes in the video, and that's about how long it took me to finish this part up. All right, and then this is a different stump hole that I did, but you can see I make it all topsoil again. Versus this is another guy's stump, and they just leave a bunch of crap. So my way is a bit better. This is my other stump grinding setup. Not the best. And then this is just a flex. These are the ramps that I make welding. And then this is a 12,000 pound machine parked on my ramps. So those of you that talk crap about me not being able to weld, I mean, look at that.